Okay, what's up, everybody? Zach in the house. Hope everybody's enjoying their Tuesday. Sorry there's no background music. Uh, the streaming app that I use is having a glitch, and so there's no background music. So we'll get you over to the correct screen here. Of course, today we're going to be talking about something that we sort of just talked about last night, but it needs to be talked about again. So we'll get to that. We'll just let everybody get in here. Get some people in here that might be in the winter storm area that needs to be a part of this. Get my pen up. How's everybody's Tuesday doing? Everybody off work? Everybody has to go into work still? How's everybody's day doing? We're going to let a few people get in here and then we'll start the show. We're going to talk about the winter storm warnings. We're going to talk about winter storm watches and warnings and weather advisories and current snow locations and all kinds of stuff. Fun stuff. Well, maybe not so much fun if you live in the area, but somewhat fun stuff. We're just going to give it about another minute here, let people get in here. Yeah, we'll talk about Knoxville here in a second. Jose, thanks for being here. Yeah, we'll start going into models here in a second. I'm going to let everybody get in here, and then I'll kind of break down Virginia, Knoxville, Tennessee, this whole mid-Atlantic area you see in pink here. We'll get to that in just 1 second. I'll let other people get in here. Because if I don't let people get in here, and then next thing you know, there's like, I don't need that open, 20 people asking about the same city. But just give it a second, let everybody get in here, and then we'll dig into the Mid-Atlantic. There are winter storm warnings out now. I know last night when we were talking, they didn't even have any watches out. Now they have watches and warnings out. If you guys remember last night, I was talking about the expectation of them doing that by the time we came back live today. And they did. Forecast models are starting to come together a little bit for some heavy snow across certain areas of the country. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. First, we'll start with the winter storm watches and warnings. We got winter storm watches here. Or I guess that's no longer winter storm. The winter weather advisories in effect across portions all the way back towards like Memphis. I better start out west a little bit because if I don't, then everybody's going to be like, what's going on there? That's better. So we have winter weather advisories here in the purple. Okay, this extends all the way far west to include like the Missouri Boot Heel, Memphis, Tennessee. You're in that winter weather advisory. Eastern portions of Arkansas, just east of Jonesboro, just east of Little Rock. Northern Mississippi in that winter weather advisory once again. Areas like Tupelo, Mississippi, you're in there. Northern Alabama, again, winter weather advisories, including areas like Huntsville. And then northern Georgia. I know a lot of people from Georgia were also curious about that as well. And then you have in pink here are your winter storm warnings. Okay, this is for heavy snow. The winter weather advisories back towards the west in like northern Mississippi, Alabama, and Tennessee are more for a couple inches of snow, but a big ice risk back here. But we have winter storm warnings in effect to include much of eastern Kentucky, portions of eastern Tennessee, portions of western North Carolina, portions of western Virginia, and much of West Virginia. So a lot of pinks in there for this winter storm warning. Like I said yesterday, that's the difference between winter storm events and tornado events. Winter storm events take up a lot more area. Then up here in the Midwest, you have wind advisories. I live right in here, and I don't know if you guys can hear. You probably can't, but I'm definitely getting a lot of howling wind. Guys, I'll answer all your location questions as soon as I'm done with the forecasts. Let me get through all the models and everything, and I'll come back and answer a bunch of questions. So that's that. So we have a lot of winter storm warnings happening here. Now, with snowfall totals, using the Weather Prediction Center's website, they stuck pretty similar to what was yesterday. There's some areas that have certainly changed. I think the biggest change I've seen so far is areas like central Pennsylvania. Yesterday they had that in the 2 to 4 inch range. They really have lowered that to almost just a dusting in that area. Still snow nonetheless, but they've definitely lowered it. And then areas like New Jersey is in that 2 to 4 inch range. However, they're really pushing at maybe isolated amounts up to 4 to 6 in this region. That's not what this model is saying. If we go up to the 75th percentile, then you get a little bit more of a bump right there. So maybe that's what they're going off of. And I think that's what I'll go off of today, just simply because that's what they're pushing. Still, nonetheless, the heaviest snowfall is located right here. Extreme eastern Kentucky, extreme western Virginia, and much of West Virginia. Like a little corridor here of 6 to 8 inches. I know there is talk of maybe isolated higher amounts, especially across the higher elevations. These are mountains, right? These Appalachian mountains. So you have a lot of mountain ranges through here that could be higher snow producers. But right now, if we zoom in on that area, pretty detailed map, there's not a lot of major population in here. This is just outside Charleston. I would still say Charleston sees at least 6 inches. But this is the area of 6 to 8 inches. Okay. So the dark, the bluish purple, whatever color you want to call that, probably purple. That's the 6 to 8 inches. So definitely be ready for some heavy snow in that region. And then you get your greens are 4 to 6 inches. So I always go with the max amount because I'd rather the storm underperform. So you got 6 inches back here. That's terrible. 8 inches over here. And then you're going 2 to 4 inches back here in the lighter green, and then 2 inches outside of that. As you move towards the northeast, you have random pockets of the potential to see upwards of 6 inches here across southern New Jersey, and that's what the National Weather Service was putting out in that area earlier, talking about isolated amounts up to 6 to 8 inches to that area. Just going off of the 75th percentile forecast map, that would be accurate. Lots of lake effect snowfall happening up in Lake Erie. Again, over here at Lake Ontario. Pretty normal to see that. And then as you get up towards Canada, I know somebody in here was from Canada the other day. Then you're pushing like a foot or more of snow across Nova Scotia, Canada. And as that system pushes northeast, as the low pressure system drips over here across the Atlantic, you have a lower pressure of like 995 millibar, I think it is, through here. So you have a rapid intensification of snow bands and snow amounts going up into like the Nova Scotia, the Maine, all that area. Back west, there are winter storm warnings out for here as well. Include areas like Cheyenne, Wyoming, southwest portions of Nebraska, northwest Kansas, and northeast Colorado. I do know that there are storm chasers out in that northeast Colorado vicinity right now. What's up, Casey? Thanks for being here. Northeast Colorado area getting impacted pretty good with some snow right now. So let's go into... also, I forgot to mention, there's still heavy snow falling across Lake Michigan here. They have it set at over a foot of snow on the 75th percentile range. Even on the 50th, they have over a foot. This is easily a foot of snow falling right now across western Michigan. Probably a lot of snow falling. I know that one of my friends, he sent me a picture earlier. He has to travel to southwest Michigan for work all the time, and he's in like this area right here, and they're getting hammered with snow. He said it's definitely a snowstorm. He's saying blizzard conditions as well, because you got to keep in mind it's super windy across this area. So you're getting wind that is just booking it west to east. So on top of a foot of snow falling across portions of West Michigan, you have all that snow drifting over highways. Definitely very difficult to drive in. Would not recommend. Let's go back to 75th. The timing for this weather. Oh, let's actually check out before I say that. Let's go to freezing rain. There are chances of freezing rain to occur tonight and tomorrow morning, where excuse me, where that winter weather advisory exists. So you have a pocket. This is the only place. A pocket of freezing rain potential. That's why those winter weather advisories are out for areas like northern Mississippi, northern Alabama. It's not so much the snow, it's the ice. Not super huge amounts of ice expected. This right here is below 1/10 of an inch, but that is enough to cause slide offs and crashes and things of that nature to that area. Let's go over timing. Go back to snow totals. Let's go over timing for this system that is going to go across the mid-Atlantic, right? So you have formation of snow showers, probably tucked back here somewhere. Maybe a little bit smaller of a region, more like probably like right here. And that's going to expand as it moves up this direction, right? It's going to expand. It's going to get wider. It's going to become a little bit more intense. With that low pressure system, you're going to get an area of freezing rain right through here. And then the snow is going to form back here, and it's going to do one of these, right? Your freezing rain, from what I'm seeing, your freezing rain should die off as it gets into northwest and northern Georgia. It shouldn't continue up the East Coast, but we'll check more on that tomorrow. But definitely a freezing rain potential here over the next 72 hours across this area. Talking North Alabama, North Mississippi, and North Georgia. I know we have some people talking about North Georgia. Some people live there, and they're interested in snowfall amounts and everything. It's more of an ice potential for you guys. So one more time, let's look at the winter storm warnings extending all the way through the mountain ranges here, and then your winter weather advisories tucking all the way down in that light purple highlighted area. Let's shift it a little bit towards the mid-Atlantic, and then you can see winter weather advisories in effect all the way up close to New York City. Stops just shy. Obviously, they stopped it just shy because they're not confident on how much snow is going to trend that way yet. But if models continue, you should expect a winter weather advisory all through this area. You do have winter storm watches out to include like areas like Boston, Massachusetts. I know we had a person that lived in Boston messaging me earlier. So areas like Boston, Massachusetts, Providence, Rhode Island, all of Rhode Island under a winter storm watch. And mainly because this area is where the intensification of snowfall is expected, right? It's supposed to maybe die off a little bit after this winter storm warning area, kind of weaken as it goes through this region here. And as that low pressure system intensifies off the coast, it goes through a heavier portion of its storm of its lifespan, of the storm's lifespan. Again, wind advisories tucked back here across portions of the Midwest and Ohio Valley. Heavy wind, and then winter storm warnings in effect across here. What is currently happening, right? There's only one area of concern right now. I'll go through timing here in a second for heavy snowfall. Heavy snowfall is currently falling across portions of southeast Wyoming. That includes Cheyenne, southwest Nebraska, northeast Colorado, and northwest Kansas. Okay. So you have heavy snow expected to continue to fall. I just now realized I still have that caption on. I got to remember how to take that caption off. Heavy snow is expected to continue for a couple more hours. 1 to 2 inches is expected over the next, or 1 to 2 inches an hour is expected. So certainly some heavy snowfall across that area. We know that they actually have a highlight where the snow bands are currently located, circled in green, now circled in pink, but the original outline in green and hatch marks, that's the snow bands, so that's where the heaviest snow is currently falling. So if you're just tuning in, we kind of just went over a brief overview of the winter storm warnings that are in effect. We'll get into like everybody's questions about location and stuff, but I wanted to go through the forecast first before I continued on with the stream, because otherwise I'm going to continue, getting. But yes, so winter storm warnings, we covered that. We covered the current area of heavy snowfall, which is way back in the west near the Rocky Mountains. And then we covered the heaviest impacted areas, especially if you live up near like Lake Erie. Some really heavy lake effect snowfall. We zoom in here on Lake Erie. So you have the heavy corridor of what's pushing almost a foot of snow there. We had somebody that was from Erie, Pennsylvania in here yesterday. So I'll be curious to see if he tunes in after the event's over and kind of gives me an idea of how much snow we got. I'll kind of start asking or taking questions here for a little bit on location and stuff. To see what everybody is located, what everybody wants to know in regards to snowfall amounts. Thank you guys so much for being here. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. Consider donating in the chat as well. Any donations help me out a lot with weather forecasting, storm chasing, anything I plan to do. So when you guys ask for like cities and towns, I'm not from that area, more than likely. So when you guys ask, put like the nearest metro city near you. So if you're like in Georgia and you're somewhat near Atlanta, put like northeast of Atlanta. That way I can kind of narrow down the area, because I'm not going to know, little towns and states that I've never been to or don't know very well. Okay, DC, Washington, D.C. Zoom in a little bit here. I know there were pockets of 6 to 8 inches talked about by the National Weather Service. Right here's Washington, D.C. I would say for the most part, a max of 4, maybe 6 inches. You're in the 2 to 4 range using this forecast model, but I wouldn't be shocked to see some pockets of 6 to 8 inches there across DC. But right now, you're in the 2 to 4 inch range. That could change. Lafayette, Indiana in the house. All right. I'm from West Lafayette, Indiana. Boiler up for sure. I'm not wearing any Purdue gear right now. Northwest Tennessee. Also, if I miss your questions, it's because the chat kind of picks up. So just keep asking it until I see it. And if I don't answer it ever, then just ask it after the video is over in the comment section. I'm good at answering that. Northwest Tennessee, I think was the question. You're right where you're pretty much located right where that snow is expected to start. So you're going to get it pretty early in the storm's lifespan. So you're going to get it as soon as it forms back here near like Little Rock and Memphis, and as it goes northeast like that. So for you, you're going to get small amounts because of that, but they're still forecasting some areas in Northwest Tennessee for 2 to 4 inches, and then areas of like 1 to 2 inches as well. So you definitely get some snow. Probably just not as much as you want. Chance of the snow in Atlanta. Snow is going to remain pretty far north of Atlanta. You guys are pretty far south of that snow line. I would say probably nothing in Atlanta. Maybe some rain. Let me see how close you are to the freezing rain potential. No, you guys are still pretty far off. I would say probably nothing in Atlanta. I think you guys will be fine. I was seeing how close you were to that freezing rain, because that's a threat for North Georgia, but I think you're too far south. So I think Atlanta's fine. How does Vermont... Oh, hello. Does Vermont have a snowfall at the end of the week? Yeah, Vermont, the entire Northeast, under a threat for some snow. Looks like the heavier snow... this has been pretty consistent. The heavier snow being in the northern portion of the state, probably 4 to 6 inches, and then the rest of the state on the 2 to 4 inch range. I wouldn't be shocked as that low pressure system starts to ramp up that maybe you don't get pockets of 6 to 8 in north Vermont, and then pockets of like 4 to 6 in southern Vermont. Definitely going to be a snow chance, though. When does this storm so when does the storm happen? So a lot of forecast models have it starting about tomorrow morning back here. I'll have to recheck that. I actually haven't checked that today, the timing. And then they push this direction all day tomorrow and into early Friday. So if you live in areas like West Virginia and the areas it's getting hit the hardest, probably going to be tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon when you're getting hit pretty good. New York. New York's all over the place. You have to kind of narrow down a location there in New York. New York's a big state, and normally I wouldn't be bothered by just one particular state, but there's so many different totals across different parts of the state. Colorado Springs. Yeah, we can go back west to Colorado Springs. You can see some really high totals up there in the mountains. Colorado Springs looks like to miss a majority of the snow. Not saying that maybe you guys won't get some flakes, especially there in Colorado Springs, a little bit higher elevation, but the heaviest snowfall seems to be north of you, and like up towards Denver or north of Denver as well. The little triangle peeking into Connecticut. Let's see what you're talking about here. I don't know what you're referring to. Are you talking about like down here? Kind of like right in here? Yeah, temperatures too. Temperatures can be really cold. Dallas Fort Worth, it's supposed to get down pretty chilly. I don't really forecast temperatures, so I didn't really take a look. Okay, I'll get to that in 1 second. But I know it's supposed to get below freezing, and that's not usual. And then wind chill, I think it's supposed to be like 15 to 20 degrees. I think last time I checked. That was a couple of days ago, or that was yesterday. So, okay, so a little triangle. So right here in Connecticut, you're in that 2 to 4 inch range, just according to this. But you're pretty close to that 6 to 8, or I'm sorry, 4 to 6. So you could see a little bit isolated higher amounts. Boston's under a winter storm watch right now. Here's that heavier amount that's expected across the Northeast, to include Boston, Massachusetts, right there. Probably looking at 4 to 6 inches, maybe pockets of 8 inches. So we are still, if you guys are just now tuning in, we were tracking, there are winter storm warnings out across a wide region of the Mid-Atlantic and Ohio valleys in the south. Mainly, the biggest threat for winter weather over the next 48 to 72 hours exists along this pink corridor, to include much of eastern Kentucky and much of West Virginia, and then little pockets here in higher elevations in western Virginia. Jeez, I can't talk today. As well as western North Carolina. They're talking probably upwards to 8 inches through here, according to models. But winter storm warnings are in effect for that region, for that heavier snowfall. Yeah, it'll move all up through the Northeast. I mean, this further into North Carolina? No, probably not. It'll probably stay. If it were going to move further in North Carolina, there would be warnings down here already. It seems to remain on the extreme western portion of the state. Let me go to temperatures, because people were talking about temperatures. I actually forgot about temperatures. I can tell you one thing: it's cold where I'm at. I think it's about 10 degrees outside right now in the Midwest. Let's do wind chill. And let's go to the coldest portion of the day, which is right before the sun comes up. Okay. So these are wind chill computer models. This is what they're expecting according to the NAM on wind chills. So you see this giant Arctic blast all the way down, even into North Texas, and then all the way up to the Northeast, right? Some of the coldest temperatures, of course, being in your expected locations, North Dakota, Montana, South Dakota, where it's pushing negative 38 degrees at about 3 or 4 in the morning. Or that's 12, so about 6 in the morning, negative 38 degrees. That's freezing. And then I know somebody asked about Dallas. Fort Worth looks like it's showing about 32 degrees, so right at freezing. A little bit warmer than what I thought it was going to be. But just to your northwest, it's 12, and in Amarillo, it's negative 1. So hopefully that doesn't maybe drop a little bit further south, because if it does, it's going to be a huge difference. And then all the way up to like Chicago, negative 2. Areas like Minneapolis, negative 19. Des Moines, Iowa, negative 13. All those areas with the bitter, bitter cold. But the areas that are seeing the snow, not terribly cold, but still pretty chilly, 21 degrees there in Charleston, West Virginia, 24 in NYC. Then we got pockets of like 2 degrees here in upper portions of Pennsylvania and New York. So a lot of different temperatures. It's like Powerball numbers, right? Just kind of all over the place. And then if you're somebody who has the opportunity to live in Florida, you're looking at 67 degrees there in Miami. So if you guys want to go to Florida, now's the time. And here's that sharp cutoff of temperatures about 6 a.m. tomorrow, right across portions of northern Mississippi, North Alabama, as that low pressure system kicks like this, and then eventually goes over the Atlantic. So pretty chilly stuff. I'm not a huge fan of the cold weather. I know I've said that a couple of times, but I'm just not. All right, so how about the upcoming weather patterns, right? What is the rest of the winter going to feel like, right? So here's your 6 to 10 day temperature outlook. So this is for January 10th through January 14th, okay? So January 10th through January 14th, you have, looks like, well below temperatures occurring way up here in the Northeast. And then all the way, kind of like a little slither there, to pretty much anything east of Chicago, east of Indianapolis, is below average for temperatures. And then you have this little pocket of like white in here. That's your about normal temperatures for this time of year, which is still cold. So don't think it's going to be like nice. And then you have a random area here of above average temperatures across portions of South Dakota, Nebraska, and Kansas. Now, it doesn't mean it's going to be 70 degrees. It just means that for January 10th through January 14th, the temperatures can be warmer than what they usually are. So, January 10 through 14 in Nebraska or South Dakota is usually what a high of like 25 degrees, 40 degrees one day, or maybe you'll hit 35 one day. And then you got a random area back here with this weather pattern that's coming in of a cold pocket of air there, Nevada, Utah, Idaho, and Oregon with below average temperatures as well. We can go up to days 8 through 14 to see what the pattern does here. So this is January 12th through January 18th. Again, still showing below average temperatures up there in the Northeast. Areas like Maine, Vermont, things like that. It looks like a majority of the below average temperatures go from like the Indiana cutoff, because originally it was like right here, and have now shifted up to include much of the Northeast only. And then you have about normal temperatures across the Mid-Atlantic down to the South. And then back west, you have a giant dip of above average temperatures. Not terribly high above average. Let's see what the percentage is on that. This is about 60% above average. So 60% chance of above average temperatures right through portions of the central Great Plains, all the way down to Oklahoma, Texas. You even have about a 50% chance of above average temperatures right through there in that lighter shaded orange. So the chance of seeing some warmer temperatures, I wouldn't say warm, but warmer, across like North Dakota, Montana, is likely. It seems pretty likely. How about precipitation? We'll go precipitation percentage for January 10th through 14th, right? So this switches a little bit. So we got some below normal precipitation chances. This could be rain or snow. Over here across Indiana, eastern Indiana, Ohio, Pennsylvania, West Virginia, where that's about 50% below. And then a huge area of well below precipitation back across Nevada, Idaho, and Utah. And then western portions of Wyoming, that's about an 80% chance of below. And then a much needed area of rain potential there across Arizona, New Mexico, and Texas, where there's a drought going on. I know there were red flag warnings out in this area yesterday. So definitely an area that needs rain down there, and they have a pretty good chance of seeing it, about 70 or 80% chance. That's through the 10th through the 14th, going into 12th through the 18th. I'll answer you guys' questions here in 1 second. I know the questions are coming in. It remains decently below average for precipitation across a wide portion of the country, especially back here. And then again, you have a little bit of above average opportunity here across Southwest Texas and Southern New Mexico for some precipitation. So that's courtesy of the Climate Prediction Center. The meteorologists there or climatologists, I should say as well, are there forecasting what's going to happen way in the future. That's their job. They don't forecast tornadoes. I guess they kind of do, but not like you think they do. Their jobs are to forecast events a couple weeks down the road in regards to the climate. So things like temperatures and rain and snow and stuff like that. But it's definitely there. I like to see the warmer temperatures kind of moving towards my direction. The 8 to 14, you have a giant dip in warmer temperatures. That's what I like to see, because I'm not a fan of the cold, so I want it a little bit warmer. If I could go all winter with 30-degree temperatures, I'd be fine. But it's these random spurts of like 10 and then going into negative 10 before I wake up tomorrow that I don't appreciate. I'm not a huge fan of. All right, let's go back to we can do a 48-hour snow, which is what we were just looking at. So it's just not as detailed. You can't really zoom in. So here's the 48-hour snowfall accumulation in inches provided by the Weather Prediction Center. This is through January 7th at 1 o'clock p.m. So this is through Friday at 1 o'clock. So you can see the majority of the snow is already raced up the East Coast by Friday at 1 o'clock p.m. So that's good. So you get these heavier amounts here, eastern Kentucky all the way up through West Virginia, which is bumping with every other forecast model that I've seen. You have a pocket of heavy snowfall up here near Boston. And then the rest of the area is just minor snowfall. Nothing major unless you're lake effect, like Erie, Pennsylvania, almost 7 inches there. But nothing major, right? For the most part, they're calling for this area being the heaviest hit, and then the rest of the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast are pretty low amounts, which is good if you don't like snow. But definitely if you're in eastern Kentucky and through West Virginia, that's the heaviest hit areas. No problem, Margaret. That's what I'm here for. Thank you guys for being here. I put that little donation thing at the top because I know a lot of people are asking about like, hey, how do I donate? How do I send money to you, etc. I'm gonna go up and make sure that no one did that while I wasn't paying attention. Casey's in here too, so Casey, if I'm not looking at the screen and someone donates something, like keep reminding me. That way I can post it and everybody can know how cool that person is. I think I'm going to start doing like if you donate $5 or more a month to me, you have the potential to win like some prizes and stuff. And then the top donators, people who donate the most in a month, will get free merchandise like shirts and weather equipment, because I'm partnered with Midland USA. So if like the top donators of the month, at the end of the month, they have the potential to win some of that. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I saw a comment there about that. Philly's up here, right here. So about 3 inches is what Weather Prediction Center is calling for, which would be about right. I know some areas tucked in here were pushing like, I saw a post somewhere from the National Weather Service, like 4 to 8 inches. And a lot of these forecast models, courtesy of the National Weather Service, are only pushing 3 to 4. So that's what I've been saying all week. It was 2 to 4. That's what I've been telling you guys, and that's what the models are showing now today. So that's what I'm sticking with. Maybe it's just like random pockets of 4 to 6 or maybe 4 to 8 inches through there. Len says 5 more inches for DC, Maryland, Northern Virginia. Yeah, it's not showing that on this model provided by the National Weather Service, but I definitely could see it's showing only 3.1 inches right now in DC, but I definitely could see 3 to 5 inches in there for sure. I always add like 2 inches, 2 or 3 inches. So if it says 3 inches here, I always say 3 to 5, because you just never know. Systems can overperform as well. So like through here, this is easily a 6 to 8 inch region. Even though you see a bunch of 4s, that's definitely a 6 to 8 inch region right through there, right through the center of Eastern Kentucky and West Virginia. Yeah, Long Island, I think, is about the same. Long Island's all kind of bumping with the same amounts now, 3 inches. So I'd say 3 to 5 inches through that region. It wouldn't shock me to get maybe some isolated 6 inches. Pittsburgh for Friday, please. I have a doctor's appointment. Yeah. So by Friday, it should be past Pittsburgh by now. Right here's Pittsburgh. It's only pushing about an inch, so about 1 to 3 inches probably. But by then, this is Friday at 1 o'clock p.m. So by then, it's already got snowfall all the way up into the Northeast. So there should be no snow falling in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania on Friday at 1 o'clock anyway. But only about 1 to 3 inches. Won't be terrible to drive in. I don't know where that is in Georgia. You're going to have to give me a general idea. Name big cities, guys. Big metro cities, and then where you are compared to those, because I don't know your tiny little towns and communities and states, especially if I've never been to that state. Southern Delaware, yeah, kind of the same thing. Probably 3 to 5 inches with isolated 6 inches if I were guessing. Not really guessing, just going off the models. Okay, just east of DC, hoping maybe 4 to 5 inches. Yeah, I would say it's pretty good potential, 4 to 5 inches in the DC area. I wouldn't give a percentage, but I would say it's a pretty good chance. Erie, Pennsylvania, yeah, a lot of snow potential off the lake effect that's happening up here. It says about 6.9, but I would say probably 6 to 8 inches off of. Same with Buffalo. Buffalo, you're pushing lots of snowfall. I would say over 6 inches guaranteed in that region, probably. Unless you guys have like a dome. Nashville. Nashville's kind of, I would say 2 to 4 inches in Nashville. It's back towards when that snowstorm is supposed to start. So you see how the lower amounts are tucked back here, and then they get bigger as you push to the northeast, because what's happening is that snowstorm is expected to form back west of like Nashville, back in like Arkansas. So by the time it gets going, it's not going to be strong enough to really dump a lot on Nashville, but still nonetheless 2 to 4 expected, maybe some isolated pockets of 5 inches. That's a great idea, Abdul. Let me see what his idea was. Yeah, there is a Discord out now. I need to drop the link in it, don't I? Hold on a second. Let me see how I can do this. Everybody's asking about the Discord. After this video is over, I will post it on the channel, and in the comments, I will drop a Discord. That way you guys can... actually, let's do it this way. Hang on. You're going to see my beautiful faces here for a minute. or one face. I don't know why I said faces. You got what I meant though. And we're going to go back to NWS forecast. All right, stare at that for a second. I'm going to pull up my Discord. The reason I didn't want to use the channel is because this is like obviously private information. Everybody's asking about Discord. That's kind of cool idea, honestly, because on a Discord, you guys can send me pictures responsibly, of course. You guys can ask questions about snowfall totals and stuff like there, and then I can answer those questions in there instead of I can still answer them on the chat. It's better for you guys to ask questions on the YouTube chat than in Discord, because I won't have Discord up during a live stream. But when I'm not live streaming, you guys can ask questions in there. I got to remember how to get a shareable link to this. Oh, right here, I get it. All right, let's see if I can do this. All right, I'm going to drop a link in here. That's the Discord link. You guys can join. If you can't grab it before it disappears into the chat, let me log on to YouTube and log into the actual video that's happening right now. Give me 1 second. I'll get everybody's questions here in a second. Okay, so the Discord message, the Discord link should be pinned to the page now. You guys should be able to get in there and click on that link and join in to the Discord. Cool. There we go. That works. Yeah, you guys can get in there and talk with other members of the supporter hub. And then I'll start using that a little bit more then, since you guys are so into that. Yeah, so it should be pinned now, so you guys should be able to see the Discord comment and link in there. So cool. That helps out a lot, doesn't it? Okay, so let's get back to weather. Yeah, let me answer some questions here. Let's see what you guys got going on. Johnson City. I don't know where that is. Got to give me a state. There's a lot of Johnson City. Probably Tennessee, right? People keep asking about Johnson City, Tennessee. So I'm just going to assume it's look at about 2 to 4 inches there in northeast Tennessee. This is the Pivotal Weather website, pivotalweather.com. And this is under National Weather Service forecast. Chattanooga. Looks like Chattanooga is going to kind of dodge a bullet this time around, metaphorically speaking. Looks like just a half an inch, probably upwards of 2 inches in Chattanooga. But the ice potential does exist for that area. Let's pull up ice potential, 24-hour ice. It doesn't go 48 hours out. That's why. There's ice potential all through here to include Chattanooga. So definitely be a little concerned about ice more than snow. Excuse me. All right. Let's, why is it not taking me down the bottom here? Wilmington, Delaware. Yeah. All of Delaware is under, a threat of some snow, anywhere from 3 to 5, probably 3 to 6 inches, depending on what portion of the state and where the exact path of the snowfall goes. But definitely 3 to 6 inch range possible across all of Delaware. Yeah, ice is definitely the worst. I would prefer snowstorm like every day over ice every week. Like I cannot stand ice. Driving in it is miserable. Trying to take care of it's miserable. Donate some Bitcoin, right on. Green Bay, Wisconsin. I think you guys are already getting snow, aren't you, up there? Seems the majority of the heavy snow there in the upper Midwest is off of Lake Michigan and Michigan. Looking about 2 to 5 inches probably there in Green Bay, just according to the National Weather Service. I don't know where Kingsport, Tennessee is. Kind of narrow that one down. Princeton, New Jersey. Yeah, so it's close. Some portions of the state in New Jersey have about 2 to 4, 2 to 5 inches, and then the bottom half are probably 3 to 6. So it could be anywhere from 2 to 6. I know that's a crazy number, but depends on what part of New Jersey that's in. Thanks, Darla. Thanks for being here. Yeah, I was wondering, are you yelling at me there, creative? Hold on. Something about freezing rain. Hang on. Let me go back up and see that. We did get freezing rain this morning. Okay. Yeah. The Northeast, like the East Coast. Yeah. I saw that there was some freezing rain coming down over there. Kingsport is East Tennessee. Okay. So East Tennessee, yeah, again, kind of dodging a bullet a little bit here. Looks like the majority of the heavy stuff is going to remain north, but I still wouldn't be surprised to see 6 inches isolated somewhere in here. But for the most part, you got 2 to 5 inches, 3 to 6 inches anywhere in the region, depending on your elevation as well. If you're in higher elevation, you probably could see upwards like 7 or 8 inches as well. It really just depends on that. That's kind of the weird thing about living in the mountains, you know. But especially being like super close to like the heaviest snowfall areas, that if this system comes south, it just barely comes south, you could get 8 inches or, you know, somewhere near that, maybe more like 5 to 7 inches across eastern Tennessee if that system were to drop south a little bit. But right now, probably as much as upwards to 4 to 5 inches in that region. Bowling Green, Kentucky, staying a little bit further west of the heaviest area, right in here, probably 2 to 5 inches in that region, probably more or less 2 to 4 inches. It really doesn't seem like the snow doesn't take off until it gets into eastern Kentucky, northeast Tennessee, western Virginia, and then West Virginia. So if you're in this region here, that's really when it starts to take off and ramp up as soon as it hits those mountains. I know Nashville's got mountains around it too, somewhat. So, yeah, I've been watching Kansas too. There are some heavy snow coming down out there as well. Oh, I just now realized I'm still on the. I'm like trying to circle things and you guys can't even see it because I forgot that I had Discord up, so I wanted to take it off. Now you guys can actually see like my marker and stuff, right? Yeah. I'm over here circling, telling you guys that I'm circling. You can't even see it. My bad. Yeah, Annette says it's freezing cold here in Chicago. Yeah, definitely. I'm about 2 hours southeast of Chicago, and it's freezing, so I can imagine how bad it is up there. Let's see. I think it's like, what is it right now? It's 0 degrees where I live at right now with wind chill. So I can't imagine how cold it is up in Chicago with all that wind is coming down. So they canceled school in Buffalo, New York. I believe it. You guys are pushing really high amounts up there. New York City. So up here in the northeast, up here in the northeast, the upper corner, circled in pink. You guys are probably in that 3 to 6 inch range. Really, again, just depends how quickly that snowfall decides to fall. But it has you right at 3 inches. So I would say 3 to 5, 3 to 6 inches. Maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit more. Any chance the storm moves north? I would say probably no. It's been pretty consistent. All the malls have been really consistent with the snowfall remaining where it is right now, where the National Weather Service forecast has it out right now. And guys, this isn't just a computer model. I know it looks like one. This is the National Weather Service information. This is strictly what we're under National Weather Service forecast. So this is what they have put out for snowfall potential. I'm not pulling like some random forecast model and showing it to you guys. Negative 17 degrees in South Dakota. Yeah, you guys can keep it. Yeah, the wind is horrible in Chicago. Yeah, I can imagine. Probably feeling like -5 degrees there, -10 maybe with those wind chills. I'll go ahead and pass on that. How much for southern Pennsylvania? Yeah, again, I mean, really just depends where you live. Closer, it looks like closer you are to the Atlantic, closer you are to like Philadelphia, the more you get. But overall, much of southern Pennsylvania is in that 2 to 4 inch range, and then you'll have pockets of 3 to 5 inches the closer you get towards like Philadelphia. See you, Margaret. Have a good night. If you guys aren't familiar with the channel, make sure you guys subscribe, follow along. Darla asks, what is the most accurate map? That is a great question. And I would say there's probably no accurate map. What I look for when I look for like snowstorms and tornado events is consistency, which forecast is showing the same thing every time it comes out with a new one. Some forecast models come out every hour, and then others come out every 3 to 6 hours. So I just want to see consistency. And, when I pull forecast models, if they're showing the same thing over and over and over and on every run for days and days, I know which one's probably going to be more accurate. If you get a model that's 1 minute you got snowstorm in here, and then the next you have snowstorm up here, and then it's down here, I'm probably not going to trust that one as much because it's not really identifying a location to a specific area. So it really doesn't come down to which model is the best, it's just which one's the more consistent. National Weather Service Hastings primary snow band should be along or south of Cozad, Holdridge, Superior Line, and include north central Kansas. Yeah, you guys are getting hit real good out there. He's talking about this right here, which is a mesoscale discussion. Number 35, which is saying heavy snow is expected to continue for a couple more hours, 1 to 2 inches per hour should be expected. We'll actually pop over here. We'll go out west for a second so I can show you how heavy the snow is coming out. We'll click on Cheyenne's radar. So you can see how there's pockets of pretty heavy stuff coming down. Right here. That's some fast moving stuff. Shockingly, there's no snow squall warning out here. There is in Montana, but there's no snow squall warning out for this region yet. Oops, that's not what I meant to do. We'll zoom out, and then we'll kind of shift to the southeast a little bit. This area definitely getting hit pretty good with some heavy snow. There we go. That's better. So these are, you can see by the dark blue and the racing to the east and southeast, those are snow bands, right? So almost probably zero visibility in this region of the country. This is Nebraska up here. So this is southwest Nebraska. Here's Kansas down here and northwest Kansas. And then this is Colorado. So kind of at that intersection of Colorado, Kansas, and Nebraska, there's some really heavy snowfall coming down in that area. I'm gonna ignore that, Heath. Thanks everybody for joining the Discord as well. That's something new. I've literally just started it. It wasn't too long ago when I started it. Originally, it was for Facebook supporters, and then I started adding people in there from YouTube as well. If you guys want the Discord, there is a link at the top, and you guys can follow along. I can post like pictures and stuff in there. I do like storm chase updates as well in there. So anytime I'm planning on like storm chasing a setup, I'll update like my target area, where I'm going to be, what exactly I'm chasing, the severity of it, and stuff like that. And I'll let you guys know before I go live too in there. That way you guys can be prepared to see my handsome face. Yes, I just complimented myself. So let's go back to what everybody's concerned about. We'll go to National Weather Service forecast. This is the latest release of the 48-hour snowfall total, courtesy of the National Weather Service. This is not a computer model. This is what they're calling for, which seems to be pretty accurate for what local weather forecast offices are calling for, especially in this region, the 6 to 8 inch region. Probably anywhere from like northern Tennessee, eastern Kentucky, western Virginia, all the way up to West Virginia. Definitely want to rely on your National Weather Service offices. as well as your local meteorologist. They kind of get it down. I know some of you are probably like, well, sometimes he's wrong. So I know. Okay. But it's really hard to forecast this stuff. So cut him some slack. National Weather Service, I know, is putting out a lot of information as well. Let's see. More like global cooling. Are you talking about what's on the screen right now, Mohammed? If you're talking about this is pivotalweather.com. And then I'm under the forecast tab, and then I'm under NWS forecast right here. You can also look up the hazards map. You can look up the Weather Prediction Center forecast. You can look up Climate Prediction Center as well as the Storm Prediction Center. We can actually switch over to the Weather Prediction Center, but it actually doesn't. We have Winter Storm Severity Index. This is kind of cool too. I like this. So this is the Winter Storm Severity Index. This is kind of narrows down where they're concerned most about the heaviest snowfall impacts. So anywhere, it even includes Nashville. So that's quite interesting how they have that. So in Nashville, all the way up this little corridor here, and then again up near DC, and then all the way up through New York City, they have it as a moderate risk for travel under the severity index for the next 1 to 3 days. And then, of course, you have extreme impacts indicated by the purple up there in Lake Michigan, along West Michigan, simply because it's still snowing up there. Like, it's still going. So they're getting over a foot of snow up there. So, and it's blowing as well. So that doesn't help any. So pretty. Oh, here's the color chart here. So you can see at the bottom, it tells you all the different colors and everything. So this probably will change. I would imagine that maybe we would have an upgrade to maybe like major impact somewhere in here. And a big reason why like areas like Nashville is included, even though they're only expected to get like 2 to 4 inches back here, is because of population, right? Travel risk. There's a lot of people that travel in Nashville. Obviously, I hate driving through Nashville. I'll tell you right now. I have to do it all the time to get down south to chase tornadoes. But a lot of people live there, so that's why it's in that risk, as well as areas like New York City that's not even under any type of winter weather setup yet. DC, Philly, Boston, all these areas under that moderate risk for winter storms for under the severity index. And then as you get into here where the snow is still expected 6 to 8 inches, you don't get a lot of population in there. So they've kind of taken it away a little bit. But it's a cool little tool to use because it kind of tells you exactly where you should expect the worst traffic and where you should expect vehicle accidents and probably what interstates you should avoid because it's about to be pretty bad in that area. So winter weather. Oh, I saw something. Hold on. Go back over here. National Weather Service in Wakefield, Virginia, winter weather advisories have been issued. Okay. Fluvanna eastward to the Maryland eastern shore. Okay, so we have winter weather advisories up there. Yeah, Texans can't drive in snow for sure. There wasn't it like a couple years ago they had a snow event down there. I don't remember where, and like there was a picture of just cars all over the interstate. I think it was Dallas. And people were in the ditch, crashed into each other. They were all over the place. I mean, it looked like a Walking Dead scene, and it had snowed like 2 inches. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. I was like, what in the world? And I remember there was a meme going around about it forever. There was barely snow on the ground. I mean, there was snow on the ground, but nothing like you see up in the Midwest or in the Northeast. But I remember that. It was quite hilarious. Yeah, we can go back to like no, that's not what I meant to do. Snowfall totals here. That way you guys can get an idea here. So I've seen a couple questions about Pennsylvania. Or Philadelphia. So southeast Pennsylvania, probably 3 to 6 inches should be expected in that area. Yeah, I remember that. That was so funny, dude. I laughed about that for a solid couple of days. because there was like one person that was standing outside. That one cars were on fire. I mean, it was unbelievable. It looked like a war zone for like a couple of inches of snow in Texas. It was crazy. It was just last winter. Okay, I didn't know how long ago it was. I have terrible like sense of time, but yeah, I was like, oh my goodness. Yeah, as I say, if you're anywhere from like the Northeast or anything, you probably kind of were raised to like you were taught how to drive in snow. You know, I was taught how to drive being from the Midwest in snowfall. My father would always make me drive when it snowed just so I would learn. But if you're from the South and you never see snow, I did see a video the other day that was kind of cool. This woman saw snow for the first time in her life. She was raised in South Florida, never left South Florida, and she was like 19 or 20 years old, and she moved to I don't remember where it was, somewhere in the Midwest. I want to say like Columbus, Ohio, or something, and saw snow for the first time. I thought that was pretty cool, but I can't imagine her trying to drive in it. Yeah, definitely gotta be from Canada, being used to snow. Wind direction. Uh, we can pull up wind direction for the Northeast because I'm not really sure. I'm not even sure how severe the wind is supposed to be up there. We'll skip ahead to about the time you guys should be getting some snowfall up there. Yep, about right here. We'll go up a couple more hours. About right there. We'll even pull up wind gusts. Let's pull wind gusts first. So it looks like the majority of wind gusts on Friday morning are back here, which is going to be problems in Virginia and West Virginia again, because they'll have to deal with blowing snow because it'll just snow up there. Looks like a lot of the wind is coming out of the north. Let me bump that with that, yeah. So a lot of the wind coming out of the north. We can do temperatures as well. So indicated by the wind barbs here, what those are called, those little lines with the little hashes on them. Those are wind barbs. So it's got some wind coming out of the north. Not very quick. Looks like about 5 to 10 knots. So not very fast wind speeds, but it's definitely coming out of the north like this on most of those forecast miles there for the Northeast. But not very high wind speeds though, so that's good. I can actually pull up the wind here. Yeah, so 5 knots. Man, I was pretty accurate there, guys. That was pretty good. About 5 knots, 6 knots, anywhere 5 to 10 knots they're coming out of the north. So I guess I should know that if I'm doing a live stream here. Let's go back to questions here. Thanks, guys, so much for joining the stream. First time here, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Get that notification bell. That way we can get you notified anytime we go live with any type of breaking weather coverage or forecast discussions, as well as live storm chasing. Have the opportunity to be watching the live stream when I get close to a tornado on live stream. I've been hearing that a lot. People are celebrating winter on the East Coast finally, because that last system it pushed off into the Atlantic, so you guys didn't really get to experience a real winter event. You guys were kind of missed out on that. This one's definitely gonna drive up the Northeast. You guys won't be missing this one too much. Not as much snow as you guys may want, but at least you see some flakes. What's the optimum temperature for accumulation? Freezing. Yeah, freezing temperature or below. You want those grounds to be as cold as possible. Been on the air already for an hour. Jeez, man. It goes fast when I'm answering questions. Like usually it's like, it feels like I've been on for maybe 20 minutes and I've been on for an hour already. But if you guys are just now tuning in, we are touching up on winter storm warnings across the mid-Atlantic. Let me pull that back up here. Better drop down to Ohio Valley. Okay, so here are your winter storm warnings circled in pink now and also highlighted in pink. That is for tomorrow morning all the way through Friday morning. Okay, So a pretty heavy corridor of 6 to 8 inches expected right through that pink shaded region tomorrow through Friday. And then even back here, you have winter weather advisories back west where that storm is expected, to fire. You'll have some ice potential across North Alabama, North Mississippi, North Georgia, and then more or less snow back up here through like southern Illinois, western Tennessee, or northwest Tennessee, the Missouri boot heel, things like that. You'll have more of a chance to see snowfall than you will ice. Ice threat really sticks along the border of Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, and Tennessee. But nonetheless, still winter storm warnings out and winter weather advisories out. So you should be expecting a little travel delays going into work probably tomorrow morning, and especially Friday morning into work if you live in the Northeast. Hey, Zach, just joined. Any big changes from yesterday? Not really. Seems pretty normal, other than like the additional winter storm warnings and advisories that are out, as well as maybe some isolated heavier amounts expected, but nothing has really changed. This has been a pretty consistent model run type storm where it's just showing all that total right up through here. I mean, I remember like 2 or 3 days ago, we were talking about an upcoming weather pattern, and I circled this area right through here. And so it's been really consistent with that region. So hold on, let me go back up here. National Weather Service in Wichita, Kansas. Light snow is expected across much of the region tonight. Most areas will see less than an inch, but areas along I-70 should see. I just pulled it up there on the screen. So for those that live in eastern Kansas, southeast Kansas, that is information from NWS Wichita. Thank you, Lynn, for sharing that. Do I think St. Louis will get much snowfall? Probably not. I wouldn't be shocked to see like a dusting or something, but I know there's a system coming back from the west as well, so we'll monitor that. I'll get you a better update tomorrow. Let's see. Okay, so does wind speed before... So usually blizzards are indicated... So blizzards are touchy subjects, right? Because you can have snow coming down and wind blowing at like 50, 60 miles per hour but not get a blizzard. I think a blizzard, and correct me if I'm wrong, if somebody's in here that maybe knows a little bit more, but a blizzard is only issued if like there are certain amounts of snowfall coming down in an hourly rate. So like if you're getting 3 inches an hour and it's blowing, that's blizzard. But if you're only getting like half an inch an hour and it's blowing, you're not going to get blizzard out of that. And then usually it occurs at the same time. As it's snowing, it's also, excuse me, as it's snowing, it's also windy. Or Ian, sorry. What temperature do you set your home thermostat day and night? I like to sleep in the cold. So what I do is I have like different temperatures for each room. So the living room is usually kept pretty warm, 65 degrees to 70 degrees, maybe a little bit warmer depending on how cold. I think it's like 72 right now, because it's so cold outside. And then when I go to sleep at night, I usually put it low 60s in my bedroom. In the living room, it stays the same. Yeah, I know. That's Pennsylvania. Yeah, I know. Like yesterday when we were on here, that's a big change too for that person who asked me any big changes. Pennsylvania was showing 2 to 4 inches across the entire state yesterday, and they've definitely redacted that a little bit. It's more of a southeast Pennsylvania. Like I said, maybe it's pulling a little bit towards the Atlantic, but you're still getting 1 to 3 inches, and then as you get south, you're getting still 2 to 4. So still areas of heavier snow, and I still think the entire state of Pennsylvania will see some snow tomorrow and Friday. Western Maryland missed out. It's weird getting desegregated. Yeah, isn't it crazy like how quickly, like how sharp of a cutoff it could be? Like you could have like a foot of snow in upper parts of North Carolina, and then you have none along the coast. It's weird. How much is? Hold on. What did they say? How much is Maryland getting this time? Um, Maryland's kind of all over the place. I would say probably northwestern portions of the state, kind of up here, would get the most, maybe upwards of 6 inches, as the heavier snowfall comes across West Virginia like that. And then you get kind of maybe like a 2 to 5, 3 to 6 range across the central portion, and then definitely at least 3 to 6 across southern Maryland. So it really just depends on what part of Maryland you live in. Will Georgia get snow? Probably not. Georgia does, however, in the really, really northern portions up near the mountains, up in the mountains, you have an ice potential, but not so much snow. The rest of the state should be pretty clear. And the vastly snow events seem to create more wind in New York City, Boston. Is the storm the same? There's not a lot of wind threat up in the Northeast tomorrow. I just pulled that information. At least when the snow is coming down. It looks like you're sticking like 5-10 knots, not more than 10 to 15 miles an hour at wind gusts anyway. So not anything major on the wind. There are some maybe higher wind gusts tucked back here in like West Virginia and Maryland, but no, pink is not ice. This is snowfall totals. So pink is just where the heavier snowfall is expected. There is no ice expected. Maybe a little bit, but not huge amounts expected across any portion of this winter storm going up all the way up the north. The only area that is expected to see snowfall or ice as of right now is right along here, North Mississippi, North Alabama, North Georgia. This is really the only area that has been forecasted for ice. Greensboro, North Carolina, unless you're like right along the Tennessee border, you're going to be fine. Pretty much nothing. I do like Pennsylvania. Yeah, Pennsylvania is a nice state. I think it's really scenic up there. Had the opportunity to go there back in February, and then got trapped on one of their interstates during a winter storm. Fortunately, got out after only like an hour of being stuck, but no problem at all. That's what I'm here for. Make sure you guys subscribe, follow along for future weather updates. We do this quite often. I like to get in here and talk to everybody. I'm sure a lot of you in here are already subscribed, and I really appreciate it. Kind of talking to the people that maybe don't know who I am. We do a lot more than just weather forecasting, too. It's just been the topic the last couple of days. Usually I'm out storm chasing. That will be live broadcasted onto the channel as well. So if you guys like to see live storm chasing, you can do that as well. Which I think a lot of storm chasers are switching to YouTube. I was kind of talking about that yesterday with Facebook and how Facebook has really been getting worse almost with algorithm and trying to get followers to link onto weather forecasts. So I've done a lot of my work through YouTube the last month and not so much through Facebook. But I was trying to get all of them to switch from Facebook to YouTube. So I think a lot of them did. So hopefully they are. Yeah, smash the like button as well. You can also donate in the chat as well using super chats. Kind of something new that's set up. We had some pretty big donations yesterday. Annette, who just commented, was a big donator yesterday. Really appreciated Annette. Yeah, I don't know. Facebook's just been doing it. If you guys are just now tuning in, we are kind of monitoring the winter storm setup over the next couple of days. This is the radar currently. This is Ray, Colorado, McCook, Nebraska, and then Colby, Kansas. So we're right here at the intersection of Colorado, Nebraska, and Kansas. We have some pretty heavy bands of snow cooking it to the southeast here, crossing into Kansas. Probably very low visibility in like the Max, Nebraska area. Probably pretty difficult to see right now. They're definitely moving. We know there is one snow squall warning out in Montana. If you guys don't know what a snow squall warning is, it's fairly new. And what it is, it's kind of like a severe thunderstorm warning. only for snow. And what they do is anytime there's a band of snow moving fast and producing lots of snow within it, as well as winds, they put out a snow squall warning, alerting anybody driving on these interstates here into like the Missoula area that, hey, you're not going to be able to see in this. So you should probably exit and park your truck for a little bit. Here's the information. A dangerous area of intense snow was located over Missoula, moving east at 10 miles an hour. The hazard is poor visibility and heavy snow and blowing snow. Wind gusts are peaking at about 20 miles an hour. They have a radar and webcam. So basically, they're saying, hey, if you drive into the snow squall area, you have the potential of wrecking, crashing. And we know that some big pileups on the interstate happen because people are driving fast in heavy snowfall, right? They can't see anything. And these snow bands, they just plow in the back of other cars, and it's like a never-ending cycle from there. But we're definitely monitoring that as well. But our big topic today is the winter storm warnings that are currently out across portions of the Mid-Atlantic and the South, including winter weather advisories all the way down to include areas like Huntsville, Alabama, Tupelo, Mississippi, northern Georgia, Chattanooga, Tennessee. Nashville is under that winter weather advisory. Portions of southern Illinois as well. Someone was asking about St. Louis earlier. Right here, St. Louis. And you have winter weather advisories to your west, winter weather advisories to your north, and winter weather advisories to your south. So St. Louis is kind of like a dome right now. Nothing happened in there, but everything's happening around it. But the big story is the winter storm warnings. They're all the way up through Kentucky, West Virginia, portions of Virginia, North Carolina, and through that region. Let me answer some more questions here. Len says rain begins to move across central Alabama tonight. So here's National Weather Service Birmingham. Rain begins to move in across central Alabama tonight, followed quickly by temperatures well below freezing. Okay. Another one by National Weather Service Missoula, who is the National Weather Service office. We were just looking at the snow squall warning. 1 inch in the last 30 minutes in central Missoula. Rates picking up. That's in Montana. So definitely got some activity up there in the Central Plains up to the Big Sky country there in Montana, where some heavy snow is coming down. And then now we're tracking a winter storm warnings back here across the Mid-Atlantic. So here are the forecasted snowfall totals using the National Weather Service, where they're expecting it. So 6 to 8 inches tucked in to that winter storm warning area. I would say even as far south as maybe northern Tennessee and all the way up through eastern Kentucky, western Virginia, and West Virginia. And then snowfall continues up through the East Coast, looking at 3 to 6 inches in areas like New York City, and then southeast Pennsylvania and areas like that. Let me get caught up on questions here. Jack asks, are there any unusual weather events you see on the map that is unusual for this time of year? Not really. That's a good question. I don't see anything that kind of like stands out at me that, oh my goodness, this is happening in January. Most of this is expected. Heavy snowfall across this region up to the Northeast, absolutely expected. Snowfall across areas like Wyoming, Kansas, and Nebraska, absolutely is expected. So nothing like stands out at me that's like crazy. Arctic blast. I think the craziest thing about this event is maybe the ice potential in like Alabama, Mississippi, and Georgia. That's probably the craziest part of this whole event. How far south that is, but if that's the craziest thing, then that's not that bad. Let's see. My friend was wondering, but I live in Philly, so will Philly, Pennsylvania get much? It's kind of on that border of where's Philly at here? Oh, right here. You're looking. It's pretty tough. You guys could get upwards to 3 to 5 inches, maybe some isolated 6 inches tucked in there across southeast Pennsylvania. Um, some regions have, or some models have it a little bit less, some have it a little bit more, but I would say 3 to 6 inches through that area, maybe 3 to 5, 3 to 6 inches. Penn Weather actually just said 3 to 5 inches plus. Yeah, that's a good forecast for that area for Philly. Um, will this winter end early, late, or on average for the Boston area? I haven't seen anything that says um that it's going to end early or late. Of course, I'm not a climatologist. I would say for now it's supposed to end about the normal time. I don't see anything, any reason why it wouldn't. Were there any tornadoes in the last 48 hours? Let's hope not. No, I didn't see. There's no tornado reports. There was no even threat of tornadoes. I thought I saw some photos of water spouts somewhere, but nothing that like hit landfall or anything. But no, no tornado reports. No tornadoes of the last 48 hours. Southwest Missouri snow chance. Let's switch it over there. I think that's the region where this event from the northwest is supposed to come down, kind of like this. And then you get a new area of low pressure, starts developing more snow that kicks up like this. So as for southwest Missouri, it looks like maybe a chance here of some snowfall going into tonight and tomorrow. Probably half an inch to 2 inches, or half an inch to an inch. Just like a little blanket, but nothing like significant. When the winds are blowing hard and it creates drifts, how do they measure the correct amount of snow? That's a great question. So what they'll usually do is they'll kind of go to like a side of a building where wind isn't impacting it. So if wind's coming out of the west and it's blowing snow to the east, they'll go to the east side of the building and pull up against the building, um, where it's just not being affected by the wind as much, if at all. That's usually how they do it. You wouldn't be able to do it out in the open. You would definitely get some inaccuracy. Yeah, I could see that happening, Nicholas. Yeah, for sure. I think there's going to be a pretty big nor'easter at some point in January, February. Usually, you get one or two good ones a year, and I wouldn't be surprised at all. Massachusetts North Shore is kind of in that area of. Oh, here we'll just take it over there. We'll go up to the northeast. So here's Massachusetts, North Shore right up here. That was the area that they were kind of expecting some heavier snowfall amounts, so probably 4 to 6 inches, maybe isolated 7 or 8 up in that region. But the heavier of it seems to be on the southern portion down near Boston, south of Boston. But I wouldn't be surprised to get some like 5 to 6 or 7 inches up there as well. Let me go back here to the Mid-Atlantic. This is not a weather model. This is the predicted snow accumulation over the next 48 hours by the National Weather Service. This is not a computer model. They're probably using NAM because I think NAM was the most consistent. What are the chances of North Carolina having a snowstorm on this time around? Not very common. Not a good chance, unless you live in like the mountains of western North Carolina. I haven't looked that far ahead yet. People are talking about like the weekend. I haven't looked that far ahead yet. I'm just right now focusing on the next 2 days, Thursday and Friday's storm event. Ice storms are easily the worst that you could possibly have. ice storms are just terrible. It's just impossible to do anything in an ice storm. It knocks out power. It's impossible to drive. It's impossible to walk outside because you're just going to slip and fall and injure yourself. Snow, at least you can walk on, you can drive in, they can clear it off of, roofing and power lines and stuff like that. But ice, yeah, good luck. I don't know where Somerset, Kentucky is. You have to give me like a region of the state it's in. Where can I get that info for just in case of a tornado? And can I get it from you if that's okay? Yeah, join the Discord and I'll drop it in the Discord, like all the links that I use and everything. How is a snow NATO created? Kind of this. It's like a dust devil. It's the same thing, only just with snow. So it's just gust of wind and creates a little tunnel of air, and it just picks up some dust. And the same thing, it just picks up some snow. How much will Nashville, Tennessee get? Some reports are saying about 2 to 4 inches, isolated 5 inches, but I would say closer to 2 to 4 inches in that region. Near Bowling Green, the same thing, 2 to 4 inches. That's what's being reported right now. You're pretty close to where the intensification of the snow is expected. So if it maybe intensifies a little bit further west, areas like Nashville and Bowling Green and that region, southern Kentucky and Tennessee could see maybe an escalation of snowfall totals, maybe like instead of 2 to 4, you're looking at more like 3 to 5, 3 to 6. How hard do I think Northern Virginia will get? Northern Virginia is kind of in that area again of some heavy snowfall totals, kind of right in here, probably 3 to 6 inches. Some areas a little bit further south in Northern Virginia, probably more like a 2 to 5, but 3 to 6 would be the current forecast for that area right now. Tellico Plains, Tennessee. A lot of winter weather advisories across Tennessee. Most of Tennessee's under a winter weather advisory right now. There are winter storm warnings that extend up through here like this, right where there's purples, and there's 6 to 8 inches is expected. Yeah, Oklahoma does. Yeah, Kathy is a good point. Yeah, on like the Central Plains, that's a good place for like ice storms. Just geographical location. Those areas are more likely to see some really good like ice storms and anything that has to do with ice. Um, I've also seen some pretty good ice storms in the South, like Kentucky and Tennessee before. Um, how much will the models change before the snowstorm reaches the Pennsylvania region? I don't know. There's been a lot of consistency. I don't see it changing very often. When I started looking at these models 3 days ago, this area was the area to be worried about. I think a couple days ago, it was more of like a south play. But as far as intensification and location, it's definitely remained about the same. So I don't see any change coming before Friday. But if it does, I'll make sure I'll let you guys know on YouTube. Some way I'll get that information to you if it changes. I'm getting still some notifications of people joining the Discord. Thanks, guys, so much for popping in there. I like to answer questions after live streams as well. So if you guys want to ask questions after I'm done here, you're more than welcome to. All I've heard is Tennessee is getting snow, but nobody knows how much. Depends where you live. It really just depends on where you live. Anywhere from north central Tennessee through northeast Tennessee, kind of like right through here. Actually, I would even include like Johnson City, Tennessee as well in this. That's your heavier chance for snow. And then anywhere back like west Tennessee, so Knoxville, okay. So yeah, Knoxville kind of 2 to 4 inch range is what it's calling for right now. Probably isolated 3 to 5 inches as well. Nothing significant, but enough to kind of slow travel, make it dangerous to drive. When do tornadoes most likely occur? Depends on what part of the country. Tornado season down south is actually happening right now. Tornado season in the south, like Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia, Florida, those areas get their tornado season November through March. And then it shifts to the Central Plains, like traditional Tornado Alley, Oklahoma, Texas, Kansas, Nebraska, in the springtime, April, May, and June sometimes. And then June, July, it shifts to the north. It's like North Dakota, South Dakota, Minnesota. And then as the season goes on, like August, September, October, it goes to the Midwest usually. Not saying you can't see tornado out. I mean, we were chasing tornado outbreak in Illinois in March of 2020. So it doesn't mean that tornadoes will happen there. Tornadoes can happen anywhere, any time of year. But yeah, there's tornado season everywhere in the country at some point in the year. When, if ever, will Arctic HP high pressure center itself north of New England? I don't know. I haven't looked at that far yet. I know there's a high pressure system that's going to be coming in back here after this event passes. Part of that Arctic air mass that's going to dip low. I would assume probably it makes a little run for the Northeast, but I really haven't gone that deep into that. I probably won't on this live video either, just because that's not on topic. I live in Massachusetts. Will we get snow? Yeah, I can switch back up to Massachusetts real quick. It's amazing how many people live in Massachusetts on this live stream. I've seen a couple of people ask questions about it. So here's Massachusetts. Heavier snowfall expected pretty much from the Boston region south. And then lighter as you get further up towards New York State. Areas like right through here could see 6 to 8 inches, 6 to 9 inches. And then it kind of just, like I said, as you go further north, it kind of weakens out a bit. So it really just depends on what part of Massachusetts you live in. Snow for Cincinnati. So as the system forms back here and kind of makes a run this way, I wouldn't be shocked to see upwards of an inch through this corridor here, to include areas like Evansville, Indiana, Cincinnati, Ohio, Dayton, Ohio, Columbus, Ohio. Wouldn't be shocked to see an inch of snow on the ground there. Cold front is coming through there. Okay, there in Pennsylvania. Can get a little chilly. You're welcome, Michelle. Let me go back to Mid-Atlantic because that's the area of concern. Look at these snowfall totals right off the lake here as well. 7 to 9 inches could be possible in Erie, Pennsylvania, maybe even upwards of 10 inches. As you go into New York, right along Lake Erie, what is this, Buffalo, I think, anywhere from 10 to 12 inches, nearly a foot of snow could be possible coming off the lake. Crazy amounts. And then over here as well, Michigan with lake effect snowfall, pushing a foot of snow or more in that region right now. Lots of snowfall coming down. I heard that Georgia is 2%. Oh, I don't think so. I can check though. Doesn't hurt, right? No, definitely not. There's not even a marginal risk out right now. No threat for tornadoes at all through probably the weekend from the forecast that I've seen. Erie, Pennsylvania is on winter storm watch. I believe it for sure. They need to be. That's going to be brutal up there, right along the lake. Again, that's a reason why I don't live along the lake. No way. South Carolina, yeah, no snow potential there. Will any of this be dipping down into North Atlanta, Georgia area? Probably not that far south. I know extreme northern Georgia in the mountains, you have some ice potential or maybe some snow potential, more or less ice, but nothing that kind of targets the central portion of Georgia there. Thank you so much, SCR. I appreciate it. I'm in Erie. It's been a nice, mild winter so far. That's good. About to change, but that's good. You're not gonna like the next 2 days if you don't like snow. I'm sure you like snow though, being from Erie. Yeah, definitely. Lake effect snow is definitely brutal. Mammoth Cave are in Kentucky. Yeah, Mammoth Cave is like right in here, I think, in Kentucky. I drive by it all the time going on 65 south to Alabama, so it's got to be somewhere in there. But I remember seeing signs for it. If you're asking how much snow potential is in Mammoth, probably 2 to 5 inches, somewhere in that range, 2 to 4 inches. When will Southeast Virginia, Hampton Roads, get their first big snow? I don't know. You definitely have some chance for snow here on this one, but not for big snow. So I don't know when the next pattern will come through. I don't forecast that far out. But as it goes on, I'll get you guys better information on that, like how much snow is where. Every time we have a big snow event, you guys can trust me to go live on here and get you guys some information. If you see the link that's pinned, it should still be pinned. Casey, can you check and see if that's still pinned or not? But there should be a Discord link pinned. You guys can join that Discord chat. You can do it privately. You don't have to disclose any of your information or anything. You can do it as, just random, like Billy Bob. I don't know, just a random name. And in there, you guys can chat with other people. Talk about weather. Talk about how much snow you're getting, tornadoes, whatnot. And then in there, I also perfect, still pinned. And then also in there, I can put like weather information that it didn't cover in live streams, or weather information before I go live, stuff like that. Cool stuff like that. I'll share some pictures of like old past storm chases that I've done in there as well. I'm not sure I think you need an email for it. I think I had to sign up with an email, but I'm not 100%. I saw someone ask a question about St. Louis. St. Louis right now is dodging a bullet. No snow potential right now in the St. Louis area. It's all west, north, and south of you. It's like a little bubble of anti-snow happening in St. Louis right now. Southeast Missouri getting any snow or ice or both? So Southeast Missouri, especially in the boot heel, that's where this winter event's going to start. You have one that's pushing like this, and it kind of just breaks off and then restarts and kind of goes up like this. So if you live in like the boot heel, there's definitely a snowfall potential there. You got probably 1 to 3 inches in this area. As far as ice is sticking further south. Ice potential remains down here. So more of a snow threat up there. Someone, okay, hold on. Thank you guys so much for joining the Discord. I can hear the notifications going off, people coming in and joining Discord. It'll be a fun little place that we can chat about weather and upcoming storm systems and what I see in the forecast and stuff like that. Stuff that I usually wouldn't say on a live forecast discussion, like long range stuff. Well, thanks, Birdie, for joining anyway. I appreciate it. I know it's getting late. People are getting off and they're wanting to go eat some dinner. I'm right behind you guys. We're probably going to get to the 2-hour limit. My goal is to do these like live forecast discussions for about an hour or two before big events. That gives enough people who maybe weren't here for the first hour or had to work to cycle in and ask their questions. You guys can always donate as well in the chats. How's Nashville, Tennessee? I'll answer that question in 1 second, Caleb, as well as Columbus. Thank you so much, JD, for the $5 donation. JD, so we're doing a new program. So if you donate $5 or more in the chat or to the channel in general, you will be opted in to win some merchandise if you donate $5. And then whoever is the top donator or the top 3 donators will have the opportunity to win free stuff. Or will win free stuff. If you're a top donator, you automatically get free merchandise at the end of the month. But if you donate $5 or more, you automatically get entered in for a chance to win some free merchandise from myself and from Midland USA, which is a weather provider that I'm partners with. Someone asked about Nashville. So about 3 to 5 inches expected in that region. Or that's not Nashville, sorry. Nashville's back here. I still think 3 to 5 inches. Nashville's not like a crazy forecast, but they're calling for about 2 to 4 inches in that area. Someone said Columbus, Ohio, I think. That's just a dusting up there, probably just about an inch or so. Dawn says, I might not get snow, but Florida's going down to 46 degrees tonight. Yeah. I mean, if I'm used to like Florida temperatures and then all of a sudden it dropped down to 46 like it is, I would probably not be too satisfied with that either. Definitely subscribe to the channel, guys. Hit the like button. I know people are kind of hopping off now. It's okay. I'm going to wait a little bit longer. So some people maybe weren't here originally. How's the system look for Winston-Salem, North Carolina? Looks like a majority of it is to your west. If I know where Winston-Salem, which I think I do. It's to your west, just in the mountains here in western North Carolina is the big threat for North Carolina. The rest of it, it's going to be cold, but not a huge snow threat there in that region. That's 2 big storm systems in a row that North Carolina has just missed. Same with South Carolina as well. 2 in a row now. I'm shocked that they don't have, like, if it's going to get that cold, I'm shocked they don't have any type of freeze warning down in Florida. Yeah, they don't. No freeze warnings. For those who are just tuning in, here is the current winter storm warnings that extend across a small fraction of Tennessee, much of eastern Kentucky, to include areas like Bowling Green. So keep that in mind. Parts of the mountains here, the Appalachian Mountains, and then all the way up into West Virginia. That's your winter storm warning. So north of Nashville to areas like Bowling Green, you're in that winter storm warning. So you do have that potential for 3 to 5 inches, some heavy stuff coming down. Yeah, I'm not using any ratios. That sounds about right. Yeah, 12 to 15 ratio. That's probably what I was thinking earlier. I'm not even pulling forecast models. I'm just using National Weather Service forecast. Yeah, 12 to someone. I saw someone the other day trying to use a 1 to 10 ratio on this event, and I was like, tough play. But you get a lot of those with some weather pages that don't really know. Long Island getting any advisories or warnings? Not yet. The advisories stop right here in New Jersey. There are, however, winter storm watches up here to include like Boston. But that's because there's supposed to maybe be a intensification of snow up there. Kind of their own world up there. But Long Island has dodged any winter storm watches or advisories right now. I mean, if you were just to look at Long Island, you would think nothing is about to happen. But by tomorrow, there will be winter weather advisories on Long Island. I'll bet $5 on it. How about Memphis? Yeah, I can go to Memphis. By the way, Memphis is like the worst place to drive through. I think I've traveled through a lot of cities, and I think Memphis, Tennessee is the worst city I've ever drove through. It's like y'all don't have speed limits in Memphis, Tennessee. I got passed by like 8 cars doing like 115. It's like, what are they doing? So Memphis, Tennessee, probably just a little bit of a dusting. Again, where you're located is right where that system is supposed to kick off. So you're probably not going to see a lot. But they are calling for about an inch at most in Memphis. Yes, West Virginia is nice to drive through. I will say that. It's still the same right now for Long Island. Nothing has changed for the Northeast. A lot of these forecast models by the National Weather Service haven't changed at all. I mean, they're still calling for about the same amount. Yesterday, I was showing you guys the more interactive version. This is just an easier version to read. But they really haven't changed. It's all been about the same. Do I think there'll be winter storm warnings for Middle Tennessee, like Murfreesboro? Probably not. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked to see, because you got winter storm warnings that come all the way out to like right here. and then they do like a weird dip here, and then they go up like this. So to say that a winter storm warning would come down maybe like this wouldn't shock me too much, but I don't see it happening. Reason being is because a lot of times when winter storm warnings are issued, National Weather Service is pretty confident in that. I don't. There's not a lot of times where I see them shift a winter storm watch at the last minute. So I would say probably no, but nonetheless, still winter weather advisories, and still some pretty decent snow expected in that area. So still be prepared for that. Yeah, maybe. Let me actually look here. What we got in Penn? Yeah, definitely. I would agree on that Penn weather. I would definitely expect more advisories through Pennsylvania by tomorrow for sure. I think they just kind of cut off maybe uncertainty on how powerful the system is going to be. But once that snow probably reaches like Tennessee and the Kentucky, I wouldn't be shocked to have winter weather advisories across more of Pennsylvania at that time. Especially looking at snowfall totals for that area when you're getting at least 1 to 3 inches across much of the state. I wouldn't be surprised to get a winter weather advisory. Thank you so much, Sean, for the $10 donation. Thank you for keeping us updated. We appreciate you. Thank you so much, guys. That's what I'm trying to do with this page. I'm trying to answer you guys' questions more than talk about the weather. Basically, what I do with these forecast discussions is the first 20 minutes kind of my time. I kind of go through everything that I see, and then I spend the rest of the time answering questions, having conversations for you guys, answering questions about locations, how much snow, and etc. But thank you, Sean, so much for that. I appreciate it. Yeah, Knoxville, Tennessee, sure can. So here's the Knoxville area, eastern Tennessee. Probably about 2 to 5 inches expected. You are just south of that winter storm warning. So there's potential that you could have some heavier snowfall amounts being that close. But right now, forecast models show about 2 to 4, 2 to 5. Thank you so much. You appreciate my demeanor. I try to keep it real with you guys. Just keep it simple, Nothing terribly hard to understand. I got a bunch of numbers in front of you that tell you exactly how much snow that they're forecasting. It's just super easy to understand. I've been to Harrisburg, not a terrible place. No, I haven't been to Harrisburg. I know it's the state capital, but I've never been there. The furthest I've been into Pennsylvania was, oh crap, what was the name of that town? I don't remember the name of the town now, but it was just south of Harrisburg. East Coast, North Carolina. Hi, Connie. Thanks for finding me. Here's North Carolina, East Coast. Pretty much nothing. You'll be all right. No snow at all. Not a huge chance there. We're not pulling models right now, Theodore. We're going off what the National Weather Service is saying. Because if we start pulling models, then we have it could show a whole different thing for what National Weather Service is putting out. Then I got to go through and explain all of that. We're just going to show National Weather Service forecast for now. NWS is pretty confident that the NAM is accurate. And now I think the Euro was also pushing in the same area as the NAM as well. So a lot of consistency between the two. If you join the Discord chat, which is pinned to the messages here in the chat, if you join that Discord, I'll post the Euro models in there, but I'm not going to post it on live stream. Lots of questions about Massachusetts. So let me jump up there real quick. Got a lot of Massachusetts in the house. Never been there. So here's Massachusetts, right? Okay. So it's kind of a weird split. It looks like closer to the Atlantic is the greater chance for heavy snowfall. Anything Boston and south, you're looking at 6 to 8 inches. But if you're closer towards like Vermont, New Hampshire, New York, all the news, New Hampshire, New York, and then Vermont, you're getting less amounts. However, still all the way back west to about the state line of Vermont and New Hampshire, you're still pushing 3 to 5, 3 to 6 inches. And you really don't get those lesser amounts until you get close to New York State. So Definitely some heavy snowfall potential depending on where you live in Massachusetts. I don't know those towns you guys named, but if you know where they're at on a map, you can kind of get an idea. 6 to 8 inches being the heaviest part right there along the east coast of Massachusetts. Yeah, I do. Honestly, Colorado is a beautiful place to go get thunderstorm pictures. Um, it's so flat out there that you can just see the structure of the storm so well. And it always produces amazing structure in eastern Colorado um, during storm chases. Let me go back to Mid Atlantic here. If you're just now tuning in, I was talking about the winter storm warnings in effect right through here. So if you're in one of those counties, um, you should be prepared for some pretty heavy snow, 6 to 8 inches being the heaviest. Erie's back towards like Bowling Green, probably 3 to 5, 3 to 6, and then it ramps up as you get into eastern Kentucky, where then you're going into more of 6 to 8, 4 to 6, that range. Or if you want to be really wide, you can go 4 to 8 inches, like a crazy amount. I've seen some television stations do that, eastern Kentucky and Virginia, say 4 to 8 inches. That's pretty wide, but that is accurate. So you can't say they're wrong. Should use a blue markers, that way you guys can see it. But that's what we're monitoring right now. We're gonna go off air in about 7 to 10 minutes. So let's finish up any last minute questions we have, and then we'll log off for the night. Like I said, I try to do these forecast vlogs for about 2 hours. If I can get questions answered in 2 hours, um, the question for you guys is: should I start the live stream a little bit later in the evening, or should I keep it about the same? Because I launch it at about 5 o'clock is when I started. So should I start maybe more like 7 o'clock and do it in the evening, or keep it about the same? The wind chill pretty low on Friday morning for central PA. Yeah, it's going to get pretty low. You're probably going to dip into the teens for that area. It's going to be pretty chilly with that Arctic air mass coming out of Canada and then pushing across much of the country. So I would say probably some pretty cold temperatures there in PA. Virginia, how much snow? Depends on what part you live in. Pretty sharp cutoff for heavy snow right through here. If you're in Southeast Virginia, I think you could still see it dusting all the way up to like Virginia Beach. But the heaviest stuff is going to be way back here in the western portions of Virginia, where you're getting 6 to 8 inches in those winter storm warnings. And as you kind of push up here, you're looking more of like 1 to 3. And then as you get back into northern Virginia, back up to like 3 to 5. So it's kind of all over the place. It's like a paint by numbers type of forecast map for Virginia. Okay, we can do that. Yeah, that's probably a good idea. I was thinking about starting a little bit later in the evening, just because people are off work at that point. People are at home, then they start to talk about the weather. So I'll start maybe launching at about 7 o'clock instead of 4 or 5 like I do. We'll stay on here for a little bit longer, let people kind of cycle in, ask any questions. Do I think Philadelphia will get storm warnings? Yes, I think. Aren't they already under or something? I thought they were. Yeah, they probably won't get storm warnings, but I think advisories will definitely remain in effect for Philly. I don't think they'll get winter storm warnings because a lot of forecast models have it dying off as it gets that far northeast. So like areas like Philly, probably 3 to 5 inches. Wouldn't be shocked if you got a winter storm warning out of that, but I don't see it happening. Yeah, first time here, guys. Make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so for future live streams on winter weather coverage, tornado outbreak coverage. I do a lot of live storm chasing in the field. I am not chasing this system. I'm taking a break. I've been driving a lot. All of 2020, I was on the road quite a bit chasing. So I'm taking a break for a couple of weeks, relaxing at home. But we'll be live covering the winter weather coverage. Thank you so much for subscribing, liking. Yes, Eastern time. Sorry, I should have said that. Yes, I'm on Eastern time. So if I start at 7 o'clock, it would be 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central. What time will Pennsylvania start seeing the snow? I think. Hold on, we can actually pull that real quick. I think I want to say it was like tomorrow evening or maybe Friday morning. Oh, back up. So it looks like late. Well, let's go back a little bit further. So this is what it looks like. There's that low pressure system. Here's your surface low at 1,007 millibars, according to the NAM. It looks like it starts pushing into the northeast late tomorrow evening. So anywhere where the heaviest snowfall is coming down right here. I better switch to pink so you guys can see that. Or yellow maybe. So right here's the heaviest region of snowfall where it's falling. This would be tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening. And it's pushing all the way up into Pennsylvania at this point. At about 6 o'clock tomorrow. Not quite reached areas like Philly or NYC yet. Let's go up another 3 hours. About 9 p.m. Now it's approaching like the Philadelphia region. So I would say tomorrow evening between 6 and 9 p.m. you should start to see. All right, Casey, that's all right, buddy. Have a good night. I'm about to get off as well. So about 6 to 9 p.m. or 6 to 9 p.m. tomorrow, you should start to see. No, this is NAM. You should start to see snowfall coming down. We can pull the euro though. So euro has it a little bit further west at about this time. So euro has it about the same though, same millibar, 1,007. Where am I at? I'm in Indiana. Yeah, no problem. So euro has it a little bit further west. I do like euro on like timing and stuff. I like euro on all winter events for the most part, and it bumps with NAM on location and everything. So I trust the euro on this. Has a little bit further west, but it does have it start impacting portions of the Mid-Atlantic, Philadelphia, Washington, D.C., New York City getting pretty close at about midnight. So a little bit later in the evening, well after sundown. But now you have 1,004 millibar low pressure, so it's dropping a little bit. Probably a pretty good area of snow coming down right through here, Northern Virginia, West Virginia, going into Maryland and Delaware at this point. And then let's go up another 3 hours to about 3 a.m. And look at that. Jeez. I bet Euro has a little bit heavier snowfall totals. Here's 1,000 millibar low pressure off the coast of New Jersey and Delaware. And just a really good corridor of heavy snow to include Washington, D.C., to include Philadelphia, Dover, Delaware, Trenton, New Jersey, all the way up through New York City. A really good corridor of heavy snowfall there. That's at about 3 in the morning on Friday morning. Friday morning about 6 a.m., 997 millibar off the coast. Still pretty good snowfall. It looks like it's weakened out a little bit, though. So, yeah, let's see just for fun and games. Let's just see how much it pulls. I know we're going to use the 10-to-1 ratio. I'm probably not the smartest thing. I still say that's about accurate. I would say I think it's kind of maybe have a little bit more than anticipated back here across Western Tennessee. That's pushing like 4 to 6 inches. I don't think you'll see that much back there. But this pocket here, 6 to 8, is pretty accurate. And then looks like even areas of like 4 to 6, 6 to 8 across New Jersey. I know National Weather Service was kind of hinting at the potential for heavier snowfall back here. So we'll see. I mean, Euro has it a little bit higher than National Weather Service forecast. Here's a comparison. So NWS forecast doesn't have as much snow back here, but let's see if I can get it perfect here. But Euro does. Okay. And then same goes for like areas across Virginia, Delaware, all the way up through New York City, where it has maybe 3 to 5 inches compared to 4 to 7. So I like Euro, though. I really do like Euro models. This is a 10-to-1 ratio. I've always enjoyed Euro when it comes to winter weather. So really hard to see, but I also trust the National Weather Service. So all right, let's get any final questions out here. Any other information, any other questions you guys have, you can ask in that Discord chat or in the comment section after we log off here tonight. I do have a question for you guys. I'm using new stuff on my YouTube. When you guys logged into this video for the first time, did it require you to watch an advertisement? Any type of pop-up ad happen when you guys logged in? No, Nick. No, Nick. It's not moving up north anymore. Both models have it pretty much in the same area. Let's see. Did Euro have more totals? Maybe. No, it's about the same spot. Okay, I got no. I got yes. No. Your blockers. Okay, that makes sense then. Okay, so it did ask for some advertisement. Okay. What was that one question? Hang on. Oh, wind. That's somebody asked about wind. Let's pull up the 24-hour max wind gusts. This goes through 6 p.m. tomorrow. It doesn't go that far enough, but if I can pull other forecast models. But this is through 6 p.m. tomorrow. Really booking it with the wind right here. Jeez. Parts of West Virginia are really high on the wind. But a lot of the wind remains up north, kind of like through Ohio, northern Indiana, northeast Illinois, through tomorrow. Let's pull Euro. Let's do surface, and let's do 6-hour max wind gusts, and this will take us all the way through Friday morning. Let's go all the way to the end here. So this is the max wind gusts over that 24-hour period from Friday evening Friday evening through Saturday evening. So 24 hours, right when that snow would be coming down across the Northeast. So you get little pockets of 34 and 33s in here across portions of Pennsylvania, but for the most part, a lot of that wind remains back in West Virginia. Wind gusts here, mid-20s to upper 20s, which is unusual for a winter storm. So nothing stands out to me like it's going to be crazy. Do have a little area here of pretty high wind speeds, probably pushing 40 miles an hour. They're in New York, but nothing stands out to me to be like, oh my goodness, it's going to be crazy with all that wind. You know what I mean? All right. Ohio should be fine. Southern Ohio has the chance for an inch or two. But cold air would be the most concerning part for that area is cold air. There were ads. Okay. Some people, about half and half. No problem, Tyler. All right, guys. I'm going to go ahead and log off here. We've hit our 2-hour mark. Again, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Helps me out a ton. Like the video. Share this content with your friends and family if they live in the area. We've had a couple donations tonight. Thank you guys so much for donating. I'm going to start doing a thing where I'd post that onto the page so people can see that you donated. So thank you guys so much for who donated. If you guys want to join the Discord chat, it's in the it's pinned on the chat. If you click on that link, you can sign up on the Discord chat. It's like a Facebook Messenger almost, where I will upload new information, things that weren't talked about in the live stream, like long range models, upcoming storm chases, change in weather patterns, stuff like that. Cool stuff. We'll interact together. We'll share some pictures together. Be cool. So if you guys want to join that Discord chat, I've already heard a couple dozen people join it. So you click on that link. I'll also post it in the comments as well if the video is uploaded, and we'll go from there. Thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time, guys, I'm Zach. Be safe.